All right, so our next performance will be by Sherry Mckay. She's going to be doing a comedy act for you guys. So Sherry Mckay is an Ojibwe Anishinaabe from Treaty 1 territory. She was born and raised in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and a band member of Saugeen First Nation with roots in Barons River and Sandy Bay Ojibwe Nation. I know there's Sandy Bay here. Is Sandy Bay still here? Oh. Okay, well. I don't think they're coming back. Okay, well. All right, well, Sandy Bay Ojibwe Nations is at the gym over there. Sherry Mckay is a stand-up comedian, content creator, influencer, and motivational speaker who was recently a TEDx talk speaker. So everybody, give it up for Sherry Mckay.
Holy. Sandy Bay's not here? I was curious if I had some siblings that were going to be here. My dad's from Sandy Bay. And he always tells me I was a good guy. But some of you guys might recognize me from places like TikTok, Facebook, Walmart, all the Dollaramas, of course. I don't know if I'm speaking loud enough. Holy. Just scare me. But I first started trying to do stand-up comedy. It's been about a year. And it's been quite the wild ride, for sure. But I did start on TikTok. It's a very, very different transition from going to making videos to standing on stage trying to make people laugh, eh? But when I first started trying to make jokes, I was like, maybe I'll make a knock-knock joke. You ever try and knock on a blanket door? It's real dusty. Knock too hard and the tacks come flying at you. And then my friend was like, we don't knock. We just walk in. So I was like, okay, that's not going to work. But my very first show that I did was actually on Zoom. And it was during the pandemic. It was really hard because everyone had all their cameras off. And I was in my office by myself looking at this black screen, and everyone had their mics off too. So when I told jokes, I couldn't even tell if I was funny. Except for there was this one older Native lady. I don't think she knew how to work her computer, eh? I found her and I seen her on the camera, and she was sitting on her living room floor, just eating chips like no one was watching. So every time I told a joke, I watched her. She'd go like this every once in a while. So I was like, either she's laughing or she needs the Heimlich maneuver. And I don't know how to help her. But I am older. I am from an older generation. So being popular on TikTok and social media has been a little bit of a challenge for me. I remember the first time I got noticed. Someone wanted to take a picture with me, and I was all excited, eh? And then she goes, I'll tag you. And the only tag I knew was like a skin tag. All these young folks don't even know yet. Ask your gookum what a skin tag is. Just kidding, don't do that. Or when IYKYK first came on the scene, and everyone on Facebook was posting memes, and in the description it just said IYKYK. And I thought it was the new LOL, right? I thought it was replacing LOL, but I thought it was the sound of laughter, yuck yuck. Until one day I seen a sad meme, and it said IYKYK. So I asked my friend, I was like, what's IYKYK? And she goes, if you know, you know. And I was like, well, fine then, don't tell me. Keep your secrets. But I am challenged in the way of technology and social media. You wouldn't think so, but I am. I went to go text my friend. You know autocorrect? It always does me dirty. It makes me type words I don't even use. And I went to check in on one of my friends. I hadn't heard from her in a few weeks, right? So we got to check up on our friends and our family. And so I just meant to text her real quick, "You good?" But autocorrect changed it. So I sent her, "You goof?" She was like, "See, this is why I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks. You're mean." Another one of my friends asked me for a ride, eh? You know how that is sometimes. You don't want to give someone a ride. So I asked her, "Well, where are you?" I'm texting this. She tells me, and then I went to say, "You're too far." But it auto-corrected to "You're too fat." But she messaged me real fast and said, "You're fatter." We're not friends anymore. I sent this email the other day, hey? This semi-professional email, and I just went to sign "Sincerely Sherry," but I typed it real fast. And it said, "Sincerely, she." My son likes that joke. Sorry, I just got to keep an eye on my Facebook bingo here. Just kidding. Wish me luck. So I come from primarily on TikTok. And I was in Toronto last year, and I was in this really big, huge event with these really big TikTokers that got millions of followers, eh? And I was all nervous, because here I am, just this, little Indigenous creator with all... with all these big creators, and I was trying to get in on some of the conversations they were having. And this one guy, his dog has like 7 million followers. His dog. And I was I was trying to get in on the conversation. He goes, "Yeah, there's so much drama on TikTok. Have you seen the drama on Knit Talk?" I was like, "Knit Talk?" And he goes, "Yeah, Knit Talk." And I was like what kind of shampoo to use? Or maybe how to pop those knits with a straightener? And you should have seen the look on their face. They didn't know what I was talking about. He was talking about knitting. He's like, "No, stealing each other's knitting patterns." I was like, "Oh." I feel like I was in the wrong room with the wrong kind of people. But sometimes TikTok's crazy, hey? I go live, and I was going live, and sometimes people will try and trick you into saying things and doing things in the comment section. You young folks know exactly what I'm talking about. Last time I was on there, someone was like, "Fix your eyelash." And I wasn't even wearing eyelashes. And I was like, I know they're just trying to trick me. But this one time, they said, "You look like you know how to get rid of cockroaches." That's what they said to me. I was all offended. And then I said, "Well, first of all, you got to go down to that exterminator place called Poulin's." And I started telling them how to get rid of cockroaches. I know the best ways. I'm from Winnipeg. What can I say? A lot of times, sometimes at my shows, I get a lot of white people, and they don't know if they can laugh at my jokes, right? They don't want to be racist. So I always throw in a couple jokes there for them. White people's version of "that's a tobacco question" is "that's a manager question." Thanks. But one thing that I love about us Indigenous people is that we flex things that are like just regular, average to everyone. So my biggest Indigenous flex is I'm not lactose intolerant. Just find me at powwow with an ice cream like this. Ooh, I almost licked this microphone. They don't even sell ice cream at powwow for that reason. Every time I tell that joke, someone usually cusses me out from the audience. Just wants to eat cream cheese, that guy. I'm working on some new material tonight, guys. I normally do 18 plus crowds. I'm sorry. I got to tone it down a little. But anyone here grow up poor? Right? My family too, we grew up real poor. My friends, you know, they would have like a can of mixed nuts on their kitchen table. My family had a can of mixed butts for those hard times. Yeah. I love how we can make fun of each other too. Holly just sitting in the front row. You know what's so funny is normally people will not sit in the front row. I don't pick on people. I don't do that, especially to our people. But I love how we can make fun of each other. Holly just shows up early. Just has all your teeth smiling real hard. I love that about us. We're funny, hey? We're some really funny people. I'm telling you guys, if you guys have funny people or if you got a funny bone and you know you want to explore stand-up comedy is essentially, you know, taking things from your everyday life and just telling it to other people that never heard those stories before. It's glorified storytelling, essentially, stand-up comedy. Anyways, my oldest son. So I have kids. I have 4 kids, 3 sons and a daughter. And my oldest son, he's so funny. When he went to go and get a bank account, he had to fill out all these forms. I want to know how many people here, how many youth know your kukum's name or know your mom's name? Yeah, well, my son didn't know his grandma's name, and he's trying to fill out the form and put her reference. And it says reference name, and he turns to me and he's like, what's grandma's name? He's 18 years old. He didn't even know my mom's name. He started writing G. I was like, were you going to put grandma there? That's why I always wonder, like, how many people know, you know, your mom and your dad's name and stuff. I think that's funny. But yeah, I do have, I have kids. I'm real thirsty. Sorry, guys. It's hot up here. I have kids. My youngest son, he's 14. So he's in that stage of hitting puberty. And every once in a while, I'm reminded of that. Because I'll be in the kitchen washing dishes or something. And then, this is how I wash dishes. I'll be like washing dishes or something, hey, and then I'll hear, Mom. That sounds like a goose behind me. Mom. Why that guy scares me sometimes. And then, you know, out of the blue, it'll be all, Mom. I have a daughter too. She's really funny. I'm like, I'm sorry, my girl, I never gave you a sister and you just have these 3 brothers, eh? Just real crazy. But she's like, her dad's Cree and I'm Ojibwe. And so she's on this journey of trying to discover who she is as a young Indigenous woman. And she says to me, Mom, I know what your spirit animal is. I was like, oh yeah? What is it then? And she goes, it's a buffalo. I thought it was going to be something real sacred she was going to say. And she said, because you got one of these. I normally smack it on the microphone. My buffalo hump. She just smacked it. I was like, holy my girl. That's just where I keep all my knowledge. She's like, holy Mom, just real lots of knowledge. And then she said, well, maybe your spirit animal is a turtle and that's where you keep the rest of your neck. She's so spicy, that girl. But then I got to thinking, if she knew I didn't have a neck, you know, then I remembered I got into a car accident a few years ago, and They put me on that board, they strap you down. I was fine, obviously. So we're not going to get all dark here, but they put a neck brace on me. And my boyfriend, we were in emergency, and he's looking down at me, and he starts going, and he starts laughing at me in emergency room. And I was like, what? I was just mad. And he's like, I didn't know that neck braces had adjustable measurements. And I was like, well, what's mine say? He hesitated. And he's like, well, yours, it says neckless. And then he goes, large, medium, small, neckless. I was devastated. But then I started having all of these memories coming back to me when I was younger. You know, when I'd go make out with boys in my grandma's basement. And all my hickeys would be up here. It was a tough thing to swallow. Eh? But my daughter, she's a jingle dress dancer, and she's like, Mom, you should dance with me. I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe traditional, probably not jingle. She convinced me. So we started making my dress, hey? And I was thinking of all those cones that got to go on there and all the work that has to go into it. You can't just whip up a dress real fast, eh? So I was like, man, that's going to be a real heavy dress. And I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to dance, but I didn't want to let her down. So I cheated, eh? I spaced out my jingles real far. And then I put it on, and I was like, see? And she just laughed at me. And she's like, yeah, Mom, okay, try and make a jingle then. And I was like, this moving, and it didn't even jingle. She's like, Mom, you can't do that. You gotta, it's a jingle dress for a reason. It's got to jingle. Has anyone here watched Little Bird? Has anyone here watched Little Bird yet? Okay. Well, for those of you that didn't watch it, it's not going to ruin it. It's a really good show. There is a trigger warning. It's heavy content. But I was super excited because the producer actually asked me to audition for the show. And I was like, heck yeah, that'd be really cool. So she sends me the script. And this is the scene. This is the character in the scene. Mind you, I've never done anything like this before. So I'm auditioning, and here's the scene. This is a mother, a woman, a wife who's walking in her kitchen. She finds her husband in her kitchen with her kid and a strange woman that she's never met. Okay? She's carrying in groceries. And it says she walks in, clocks the woman, gives a head nod, and says to her husband, who's this? So I'm like all ready with my grocery bags. And then I was like, okay, wait, do I throw my grocery bags down first and then clock her? And then the guy's like, no, what do you mean clock her? I was like, is it like an uppercut or a rabbit punch? And then he goes, no, you're not punching anybody. I was like, well, it says clock. He says, no, see. Like, you walk in and you see. I was like, well, why isn't it in the script that it says see? Okay, so now I'm going to walk in, and I see the strange woman. I give a head nod. And then I say to my husband, who's this? And he's like, no, you got to be gentle. And then he recreated the scene, and he goes, who's this? I was like, man, if I seen a strange woman in the kitchen with my husband and my kids. So I didn't get the part. They offered me another part, which was actually, I got to be a little bit ghetto, which was really fun. So if you watch Little Bird, and then the lady who got the part did a really phenomenal job on the character. So I suggest you guys watch it. It's a really good show. And I think now PBS, it's going to be on PBS, so it's not just going to be on Crave and all that. So anyways, watch Little Bird. I'm trying really hard not to cuss up here, guys. I'm just gonna say frick. Yeah. Oh man. So I love to travel. I am so excited to be here, traveling around and getting to go to different communities and stuff like that. It's been one of my most favorite things to do. And usually I don't always just do comedy. Like sometimes I'll do all different kinds of things. So I went to this one community in Ontario. And one of my most favorite things about going to community is the res kids. Like, you guys got no filter and you're so funny. It's just like some kid's like, why are you fat? And then runs away from me. I'm like, I don't know. Now I contemplate my life for the next 5 hours. Trying to eat healthy. But I love it. This little kid came up to me. And the questions that they asked him, he's like, where are you from? And I was like, Winnipeg. And he's like, oh, where did you drive from? I was like, Ontario. Oh, no, I was in Saskatoon. I was like, I was in Ontario. And he goes, my dad's in Ontario. Do you know him? I was like, maybe. Just real cute. But one of my most favorite things is traveling around. And when I'm on stage, I normally like to talk about, body positivity and stuff like that, because we have a lot of insecurities and it takes a lot to be up on stage. I know we're having a talent show tonight and people are going to get up on here and share their gifts with you guys, right? And that takes a lot of courage. And so that being said, a lot of times when I talk about body positivity, I acknowledge that I got one of these. I got one of these guys, and I was talking about it during one of my shows. That's from having kids. And this cute white lady, she goes, that's called a mother's apron. I was like, a mother's apron? She goes, yeah, after you have a baby, your skin hangs like an apron. Just a real cute story. I was like, well, where I'm from, we call it a gunt. With a G. With a hard G. But I call it a flap, because that's the noise it makes when I run. People are like, I don't want to hear about that. Just kidding. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm very grateful to be here this evening and be in your guys' community. And thank you guys so much for having me. And I can't wait to see the rest of the talent show. And the rest of the talent show, like I was up here. Vote for me, huh? But thank you guys so much. That's my time. I had to clean it up a lot for y'all. And I'm working on some more material. So thank you guys so much. I'm just sweaty. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.